All shooters possibility linked to white supremacy. The dude's last name is Garcia.
Yeah. Well, you can be a Hispanic
White
supremacist.
Mexican.
Yeah. Well, they did that with was it Zimmerman? George Zimmerman? Remember Trayvon Martin? He was
This dude looks like at least 3 different Mexican restaurant workers I've seen in the area. None of them speak English.
It's Ryan's record, which means Ryan's big, I'm small, and now Twitter's off to the side because I like Twitter now. I do. You know what's funny is it's not dramatically different, but it's like slightly different enough that I don't know.
Is it because a right winger owns it, David? Extreme right winger?
Yeah, the guy was for carbon taxes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that's going to make all the money from carbon taxes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What in the fuck? Hold on, I think this is. What do you think? What do you think of this right
now? Yeah, I've seen that.
Churches before.
Yeah, I have a theory on this.
Mm-hmm. You do?
Yeah. Well, this has been known for a while. Like everything, I really realized this when I walked into like an old church like that in Buffalo. Buffalo's an old area, but New York is older than the country. Like there was buildings built here that are older than the first states in America.
Yeah, I guess you could say this about all architecture in general, though, right? Like old churches architecture in general was always like way more.
Right, but what's the prefix of the whole word though? Is art. Architecture. Art.
That's not how that works.
It is though. It is, David. It's like based on Latin and all these words. But the point is like everything we see, touch, everything that you buy, everything in the world is drawn, like literally drawn by an artist. And it was always been said for a long, long time that the reason that buildings are ugly and true artwork in the modern era is ugly and it doesn't seem like it's this high level of sophistication is because the people, the powers that be, the elitists, they want to destroy your ability to be inspired by destroying what real art is, what real architecture is, what real like Renaissance thinking is. Like they don't want you to be a strong masculine man, let alone somebody who's well-versed in arts and music and classical music and philosophy and sciences and history and the political sciences. And
don't you think that's almost counterintuitive to what they're trying to get at, though? Right? Because if we're talking like toxic masculinity, right? Most of these people weren't like artists.
No, but that's the thing. Like the peak, like most of this stuff in this masculine thing, all it is stoicism. And what is stoicism? Well, it comes from the Stoics in Rome, and then when you look at that time, what is the Greco-Roman ideal? Is a guy that is like Hercules, not only physically powerful, but mentally powerful. He cares like all these things. He's a pillar of the state and, he knows the sciences and philosophies and he's an outstanding citizen and he can put his body under stress and like all the things that you like a man's man, right? Like, so yeah. So they inject this fake shit in you to make you feel non-inspired,
Is it also possible
that they're shitty artists?
Well, no, but maybe the older architecture was more beautiful because it was inspired, right? Mm. Like all these old, like I've been inside the Vatican, right? And it's so inspired and apparently aspired by a greater power, right? God. And, as people and as society loses its faith in God, doesn't it become slightly less inspired? Now we end up with square boxes in Italy.
Sure, Dave, but if the school that's owned by a billionaire that knows exactly how to propagandize you to hate art and to hate the culture yes, you're 100% right. It's a value lost in morals, but when we've obviously seen that there's a certain population, at least a small fragment and segment of the population that has unruling power over us, they have leveraged very particular things in society to make people bend I mean, that's what I mean. Like the art colleges, the top, if you go to the Met Gala, if you go to these prestigious, those are the dudes on the Epstein list. I mean, Epstein was a fucking like a model agent or something. People that knew him were model agent. Like these people know what beautiful is. Nobody ever has looked at one of those churches and be like, man, I'm depressed. That's so hideous. That is such a hideous building. Even the Gothic ones that you're like, it's not creepy. It's like not eerie. It's not like you don't look, you're just like, wow. You know, like it's like it looks alien. It's such a foreign thinking, you know, and once again, like inspiring is an understatement when it takes 100 years. It takes like 3 generations of people to plan, organize, materialize, and complete something that size. Like,
yeah,
this is like your grandfather started it and your son finished it. You know, like that. To have faith in that, no wonder they're beautiful, right? Like we're not doing this twice. The Basilica in Buffalo, it might be like I drove by it and I'm like, I like almost got in a car accident because I like slowed down. I'm like, it doesn't even make sense how you build the buildings. You know, so yeah, they know what they're doing. They make ugly buildings to make people feel less inspired, though. You know, no matter what it is about our loss of faith and our connection to the earth. Remember, like a few years ago, that banana that was taped to a sheet of paper was basically like a piece of art, modern art. Remember one time I went to the Albright Knox.
Was that years ago?
Yeah, years, like a decade ago.
Oh, I didn't even know it was that long ago.
Yeah. And I went to the Albright Knox, and they had just basically a big table and chairs. Like literally like a fold-out table and chairs, but it was like 20 feet tall by 10 feet wide. Like the chairs were 10 feet wide by like 20 feet tall. And that was it's like, we went from Mona Lisa and the Coliseum to outdoor giant equipment.
Folding chairs.
Yeah, not to get off on a dorky art tangent like we're some kind of fucking, you know, art collector or something, but it was a weird, slow news week, was it not, David?
I thought so. Yeah, it felt that way.
Yeah, so I was able to, not that we got to scrounge up anything, there's always something to talk about, but it's got to be interesting, you know? I came to this conclusion. David, do you think AI is like lobbying against humans so that we accept it faster?
Is AI lobbying against humans? No.
Headlines. AI chatbot bedside manner preferred over conventional doctors by shocking margin, according to blind study. Patients have become more favorable to having artificial intelligence involved in medicine. The Journal of American Medicine showing that nearly 80% of participants prefer to chatbots medical responses over conventional doctors.
Interesting.
They like the bedside manner of the AI doctor. In this case, it was ChatGPT. Better than the actual doctor themselves, and they actually felt more comfortable with those answers. Chris Windfield, founder of Understanding AI.
I gotta tell you, there's a kernel of something that's terrifying there, though. Mm-hmm. The fact that people are more comfortable listening to the AI than the doctors.
Yeah, well, you know, we're just not humans. You know, we're just hunks of meat.
That's way too much trust in the machines.
Well, where do you fall in compassion saying between Stephen Hawking and Donald Trump, David? God, can you imagine when they archetypal you out on your fucking? Oh, here it goes. This is the problem I have, because especially in medical, they actually probably need AI and robots in medical. Like all the shit they're trying to do at McDonald's, they need to do in the medical system, because there's not enough people. The shifts are crazy. People are working doubles and triples. Like the whole fucking thing's crazy.
Well, remember they tried to make people think that there was hospital shortages because there weren't enough beds. Like people really thought the beds were the thing that were missing, right? Like it wasn't beds; it was lack of staff. fucking beds. There's beds everywhere. It's not the beds that are missing.
Yeah, but the problem is it comes to like these things right here because it gets in this article. Artificial intelligence has been taking the medical field by storm in recent months, even though it's been in the work for years. With studies observing the software has its co-pilots for physicians and observing warning signs of potential hazardous conditions, including Alzheimer's, strokes, and certain types of cancers. And this is where, like I said, we need it for these things. Like, I've seen articles that AI will be able to scan thousands, like compare your X-ray against thousands and millions of other ones in real time through various stages of various cancers and know if you have potential. Like this, we're talking saving humans' lives. We amputate early, take vitamin, whatever the hell you got to do. That's what we're talking about. But the problem I have is, like anything else, they're gonna fixate on the 10%, and then the 90% of the things, 80% of that can be toxic. It can be taken over proportion. It can be, if you don't take the pills that the government gives you, you're not allowed to access your bank account. Red flag laws are just the tip of the iceberg if we're going to talk about how we've just become accustomed to a robot telling us what we can and can't do with our health. So, I don't know. I know this is long-winded. This seems long away, but I came on this podcast. Imagine what the world will be in 1 year with AI.
Well, it's already grown so much over the last year. I mean,
dude, no. My mom brought up AI to me the one time. Like, yeah, Mom, I knew about that. And I didn't shit on her.
Been talking about this for 10 years now.
Yeah, talk about this for 10 years. I brought it up earlier in February because of blah, blah, X, Y, and Z. It was when ChatGPT was passing the fucking lawyer boards exams or whatever they were, Dave, remember? And now look at what it's doing. It's a doctor now. We go from laws to doctors in 3 months. Well, since public, 3 months, but they've been making it for 20 years. Like, realistically, like, we got to look at it that way. And if they're already doctors in 23 years, what does 20 years of AI look like? It's just, and look, Dave, for all I know, maybe I'm so scared of AI, and in reality, it would be the greatest thing to ever happen to humanity. And we all wouldn't have to drive. We could all live infinitely. We'd all have all the fucking health thing. I would just plug into the wall, and you'd be able to text me your thoughts like Wall-E and Neuralink, and maybe it would be the greatest experience. We'd live forever. I'd be able to go vacation on Mars and watch fucking intergalactic sunsets of exploding stars and black holes smashing into each other and things that defy physics. Maybe it would be the greatest thing ever if I was half cyborg and I could just fly whenever I wanted. But I'd rather give all that up and be wrong than trust AI ever.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I've said this many times before, but I am going to be a cyborg at one point.
Did you imagine, like, when we 90 years old, you'd be like, yes, Ryan, we shot that on this.
Ryan, did you see this? Have you seen
No.
this? Well, you don't even know what you didn't see yet.
No, I did. I can't hear anything.
Well, I didn't play it yet.
Play it.
When it comes to illegal migration, you've seen it come down by more than 90%, and that's because of the actions that this president has taken. He has tools that he's used.
Come down by more than 90%.
You've seen it come down by more than 90%. Where did that number come from?
It was.
Because
I was
CBP
speaking.
is telling us the number.
We made it up.
I hear you. I'm about to answer.
136,000 people more.
I'm about to answer you.
Year so
if the dramatics could come down just a little bit.
Oh, stop the dramatics.
If the dramatics could come down a little
What's
bit.
dramatic about asking a question about?
Okay, I'm going to answer. So I was speaking to the Paroli program. As you know, the president put in place a Paroli program to deal with certain countries on ways that we can limit illegal migration, and we have seen the data has shown us that it has gone down by more than 90%.
Certain countries, I would.
We're gonna go.
My
We're gonna move.
fucking
Go ahead,
salary
go ahead,
that one
go
of the
ahead.
countries
Go
is
ahead.
in fucking Mexico.
When it comes to
Did it go down
immigration,
90%,
you've
or
seen it
you're
come
just
down,
reporting
by
that it went down 90%?
People are so full of shit. It went down by 90%, and it's based on some report. I guarantee the report doesn't include Mexico, which is where most of the illegal immigrants come from.
I'm going to just say this because I know it's only going to be on Rumble. Dramatic is us going down there and dragging that girl out by her hands and feet politically and
figuratively, of course.
Yeah, making her resign from her position because she's corrupt.
Could you imagine? This is why we could never do. I presume that was Peter Ducci because he was asking a difficult question. But could you imagine, like, we could never do his job because he handled that so well. When she's like, "Oh, just if you stop with the dramatics," I'd be like,
You know,
"Bitch."
yeah, I mean, this is well, we're talking about a foreign invasion into our country of potentially hazardous
Yeah,
people.
cut
I don't
the
care
dramatics
how
out.
many fucking children are coming here. Like, I don't care. I just seen this meme today. Of course, they said they couldn't afford to build the wall at the southern border, but they have all the money in the world to give to Ukraine.
No, well, yeah, not
And then we're going to hear about how great of a thing Joe Biden has done when he literally was against it during the whole 2020 election. And their party said the guy in 2016 was racist for proposing something. Remember, build a wall, we're going to have Mexico pay for it? Does anybody remember? Does anybody? NATO paid their fair share. Does anybody remember that? Or was that a different presidency, David?
I certainly remember it all, but I'm sure
It's unbelievable.
it's probably misinformation.
This is like coming there. Apparently, there's like the funding or one of these, one of those laws about like bail reform or whatever is about to be up, and that's why people are really losing their minds because they're fearful that these people are going to know that there's no more, like they're not going to get in trouble for raping people. Basically, I'm loose translating here, YouTube, but like,
geez, in Romania, you get in trouble for raping people even when you didn't rape people.
It's just, what else do you expect? I've said this, I'll say it every time. I'm not even a socialist. I don't believe in giving people money, but you have all the money to give war, but you're telling me you can't give everybody health care. This is the problem. Like, this is how socialism gains validity. And then you use it to weaponize your neighbors against each other while you all steal it from all of us.
Is that
it's socialism for the rich? I don't know who said that, but that's what it is. Is
that kind of like what's the term, Overton window? Where it's like like Ryan is somebody who naturally would be against socialized medicine, but they're like, but here's $100 billion for Ukraine. He's like, well, if you got $100 billion for Ukraine, you might as well.
Exactly. just give it to everybody. I don't care. Like, what's the matter? Well, it's for world peace. Fuck world peace, man. I got 5 teeth in my face. Yeah, and I'm not even like I know where the reason, and it's not even that I don't think people should have universal health. Like we probably all need it. Honestly, we probably do need a global healthcare system, sure, but I don't trust the government to take care of that. That's why I'm against it, because I know if you give any politician the right over your healthcare, they're gonna deny me healthcare because I share something on the fucking internet that they don't like. Now I can't get my teeth cleaned for 7 weeks.
You can't even point to any cases where anything like that happened.
There was a baby that died in the United Kingdom, David. Johnny.
Yeah, babies die here all the time, right?
Yeah, highest rates of geriatric peg. All right. 1 in 4 high school students identify as LGBTQ.
1 in 4?
1 in 4, dude.
Like a quarter?
The number
like half of a half?
Yes.
Fuck?
1 out of 4 apples, if we're counting at home. The number jumped from 11% in 2015 to 26% in 2021.
That's more than doubled.
Not an epidemic, David.
But it's genetics, and you're born with it, and it's not social.
David, we said it was a light news week, as it always seems, but I know nobody's seen this because I haven't seen it covered anywhere else. U.S. military is tracking another mysterious balloon that flew over parts of Hawaii.
I didn't see that anywhere.
Mm-hmm. U.S. military is tracking mysterious balloon flew over Hawaii, according to 3 U.S. officials.
Just a weather balloon, I presume.
The object flew over portions of Hawaii, but did not go over any sensitive areas, the official said. Yeah, just like the last one that was above a fucking missile silo, you fucking sons. The military's been tracking it since late last week. It's weird. I found out about it on Monday, so 3 days later. Is it it's still just over Hawaii? It's not clear if it's a weather balloon. You're still selling me on the weather balloons.
Yeah. These weather balloons that always just float around over our country.
You remember when they said it was a weather balloon? Well, the Chinese say it's a weather balloon, so it's a weather. Do you remember that? They said for 2 whole days, and then they're like, "Yeah, it was actually a spy balloon." Do you remember?
Yeah,
that?
and when they finally admitted it, everybody was like, "Yeah, no shit." Like the weather balloon we were supposed to believe just got blown thousands and thousands of miles off course.
4,000 miles away from China. Yeah, we're judging the weather in Montana for our people in China. I'm not in. This is what's aggravating. Like, and people question me like I don't know what's going on in the world. I don't. But the news, I know they're lying to me. I'm supposed to just believe a super slow news week, but there's a militarized spy balloon flying over continental United States in the middle of the ocean. You know, the ocean's pretty big to just find Hawaii and have a weather balloon fly over it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can't find the missing 747, but that weather balloon we found.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the thing that was shot down by Russians and they knew 3 years ago? You know, I ruined that for somebody. Like, yeah, I was seeing a documentary on Netflix about the Malaysia airliner that went missing. I was like, the thing was shot down by Russians in 2014. It's like, yeah, what? Right. He's like, you just ruined the document. I was like, how long is it? He's like, oh, it's 10 episodes. You're going to sit there for 10 hours?
It's history. It already happened.
For 10 hours, Dave, history? They never even fucking admitted it.
No, but it's not like I'm ruining like a new movie for you that's a fictional tale. Like this is a thing that happened. I got exciting news, Ryan.
Oh, what's so exciting?
I'm moving to Spain. Look at this.
Yeah. I think I shared this actually.
Did you really?
Yeah, Rich Cooper. I saw it on his page and.
Oh yeah, hey Ryan Kisak retweeted. Yeah, I'm moving to Spain.
Yeah, she's so hot.
Yeah.
I'd almost let her ruin my whole life.
Yeah, she could shit in my bed.
Yeah, not cutting a finger off though. I need those to do stuff. All right, before I keep
not to keep cutting back to Twitter, check this out. Somebody shared a thing and it says Tristan Tate's ex-girlfriend tries to open up about Tristan's manipulation tactics.
Yeah, I see this.
You saw that? You saw that? Did you see he commented on it? I don't even know who that woman is. It's amazing. I love that they just go right in the face of danger. The most hilarious thing.
I don't even know who she is. Her accent doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, don't recognize the accent, the face.
The accent. He's met thousands of people. Tens of thousands. Yeah, I don't recognize the accent. Like, he remembers every... it might be some of the greatest guys ever, even if they are scumbags sometimes. I shared one earlier that said, oh my God. Guys, I have 3 baby mamas, went to jail in Romania, billionaire, yacht, 35 supercars, and I'm destroying the Matrix, and it's the girls biting your lip. It's supposed to be tape. All right, a couple things before December tape this week.
Oh.
Why, you got something?
Dude, hilarious. It literally...
Hey.
You said it popped right up.
Hey.
And Tate's the one who shared it. Hilarious.
Yeah. Tucker Carlson apparently said if you question Building 7 live on television, you'll lose your job. So, for whatever that's worth.
Interesting.
Covered Jared Leto at the Met Gala was absolutely hilarious.
His cat suit.
Oh, I came across a poll on one of the people I follow on YouTube, and it said, America has made the world, ? Better, worse, the same, or unsure. 46% of people said for the worse, 31% said for better. And I thought it was crazy that our grandparents saved the world from Hitler and nuclear domination for everybody.
Yeah, I'd love to hear the argument for worse.
Yeah. We fundamentally set up a structure of government that empowers the individual and gave you liberty like never before seen in all of human history. Raised more people out of poverty than ever before in all of human history. Age of discovery, age of reason. But it's worse. And you know what? Forgive them for what they don't know. They're probably a bunch of kids on the internet that have never lived outside their parents' home and realize how good they got it. or if they didn't hear immigrant stories or were raised by immigrants or people that have immigrant mentalities.
That's interesting. I probably wouldn't expect it to be like a blowout for better, because I do know what some people are like nowadays. But I don't know. I wouldn't expect it to be that 46% worse. That seems crazy. There you go, Ryan. Just Zelensky casually meeting with the heads of BlackRock.
Are you fucking serious? Really?
Yeah, I'm sure she's probably just gonna play his dick piano for him. Oh, I hate these people.
I've seen a conspiracy theorist that dude's the nephew of George Soros.
Zelensky?
Yeah. 4 Proud Boys members were found guilty of seditious conspiracy.
Oh, that's weird.
So, and that was, they were trying to the whole quote Trump told them to stand by.
The Proud Boys, the one that was infiltrated by the CIA?
Yeah.
FBI. The same CIA that the head of which was fucking kids with Epstein.
Time magazine article headline: Inside the race to arm Ukraine before its counter-offensive.
Ooh, counter-offensive.
Not World War. Yeah, I know I'm just smoking over these, but this is like literally the same stuff we've seen for the last few weeks coming to a head. Patrick Bet-David also had Tim Pool on this week, which was an incredible interview. I've not seen all of it. I've seen various clips, various segments, and I plan to watch the thing in its entirety this week, but it was wonderful from everything I've seen. He has a good spiel on Trump and why he wants to go Trump. Wants to go Trump. I heard there was some deaths at the Kentucky Derby. There's like a pileup and some horses died.
Yeah, I don't know the whole story, but I knew of one horse that was put down before one of the races. Man. The article I read just referred to it as the 7th horse.
Was that its name or gender? The Cybertainment this week. 2 things.
Ooh, I have one too.
Ooh, I've still been reading Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. Phenomenal book. I've basically just chipped away, probably chapter here or there every couple days, just trying to chick away. It's real kind of hard to sit down and read a book sometimes, but I've been doing it before bed. I've been enjoying it. Allow me to relax. But last night I figured, I haven't done it in a while, but I figured I'd lay on the couch, fall asleep to a movie. And I was sitting there trying to think of what movie I was going to watch. I was originally going to watch Batman vs. Superman because, my boy Batfleck. But I came to the realization that maybe I should watch some epic, stoic, some kind of great work of art and storytelling and a majestic movie that comes from a time past. So I watched Gladiator with Russell Crowe, directed by Ridley Scott, which I don't know, David, if you know your directors.
No, not at all.
Ridley Scott is phenomenal. To say that he has directed some of the greatest movies of all time is an understatement. Alien is one of them. American Gangster with Denzel Washington. He's done various other movies, Kingdom of Heaven, Gladiator.
Here's what I would say about Gladiator is that I haven't seen it in at least 15 years, so I don't know if it holds up.
It holds up.
Still great.
Yeah, it's still great, mostly because, I realized like this era of cinema, like the late 90s, early 2000s, into the mid 2000s, it was like the last. It was cool because technology was good enough that you could have it in the movies, but it wasn't too good that you couldn't have the character always be digital. Like Gollum in Lord of the Rings is a good example. It was like you could do a couple characters digital, but not all of them. And so like Gladiator, all the fight is real, like extras. It's all people in a real armor and stuff. It's not like you have like 20 guys and then you fill the rest in with CGI. I mean, that still happens, but it's on a lot of the bigger shots. And so it's like all those scenes that they're fighting and stuff. And not to mention, really, Scott is a phenomenal storyteller. Something I noticed, like I was watching the extended edition or director's cut or whatever. And like there was a little bit more violence, but there was like a scene that it was almost like a war fog, and it was like kind of like motion stop, but sped up too, and it just showed like a lot of blur, and like it made me realize that that time period was still more because we had less technology to show you. We left more up for the imagination, or you had to like use dialogue or storytelling. You know, like even at that time, movies would come out with words in the beginning that you would have to read and then like interpret before you would see the images. And Gladiator starts that way. And most people that see the movie don't know fucking Roman history on top of it, right? So it's like those movies were more about painting in a world and an experience, and now it just seems like, you know, the only way you get that now is in superhero movies. Mm-hmm. There isn't no great epics. Like some of my favorite movies growing up: 300, The Patriot, Braveheart, Gladiator, Kingdom of Heaven, Troy with Brad Pitt and Eric Bana. Like those movies are like the old epics, the old, once again, those stoic, the Greco-Roman ideals of man, you know, and I always wonder why I've been drawn to them. But now that I'm getting older, it's just like, that's the best stories. Those are the oldest stories. No wonder I'm drawn to the best stories of the best men that ever lived, because I want to be like them. It's not like a thing. And, you know, this kind of ties into everything we talk about: attack on masculinity, elites versus us, and culture war. And, you know, and I don't always think about this when I watch movies, but it's one of the, once again, it's why I put it in. I had to, like, I almost wanted to relive the golden era of cinema, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I feel sorry for young men that either have never watched these movies. They didn't grow up with them the same way. They don't know the stories. They don't know, like, all that good quality, strong men, you know, and you wonder why the culture is what it is. You wonder why society is the way it is. You wonder why politics and religion and, you know, some of the things that plague us, some of the things we cover on the show here are the way they are. You know, I'm not saying movies save us and set us free, but I would guarantee you, if you were to look at the movies that get praised at certain times, or the thing that was praised the most, like the Bible at that time in human history, and look at that time frame, like, you can tell a lot about a culture by what is like aimed for, as Jordan Peterson would say. What's the ideal? And yeah, damn it, Ridley Scott, awesome director, Gladiator. I know, you know, most people have probably seen this movie that are a little older, but so it's a good rewatch.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have to watch. Well, mine is also a movie, and we saw on Sunday Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I know we've talked about like DC versus Marvel and stuff, and I like to joke and whatever. And but for the most part, I honestly don't care. I'm not like a giant Marvel fan or anything. But the one thing I do love from Marvel is Guardians of the Galaxy. Love it. I love all of it.
They're fun movies, man.
Give me more of it. It's amazing. I love it. It's sad. It's very sad.
Why? Is it over, or was it shitty?
Well, they of course, in traditional capitalistic movie storytelling, they leave it open-ended, but just the story in general is sad. It digs into Rocket's background. It's just the whole thing. It's sad. It's funny. It's great. You know, I love it. But
it's everything you want from a Guardians movie.
It is
all those emotions, the funny, the seriousness, and the second one. I really like the second one for like. Because that movie's so serious, right? Like his dad's a god and the planet and all that. And they have all those, like, when you watch it at home, you're almost like, this is like a comedy, right? Mm-hmm. But it's so serious that if you didn't have that, you're like, I don't even know if you would watch something so serious and dreading, you know?
Right. Yeah, it was excellent though. So for anyone who's interested, definitely go see it.
Is it tying into, because I'm hearing that Marvel is doing, I don't know, like multiverse event fucking story.
So I know they were coming to a close on the old run Infinity of movies, Saga. Right?
Yeah.
Yep. So all that's coming to an end, and I think if I'm not mistaken, this was kind of like the last of it. But whether they choose to do another run of, I'm not sure. I'm sure they're going to do it again in some way, but. But like the old run of, like the Avengers with, you know, Hulk and Iron Man and blah blah blah, Captain America and the Guardians joined at some point, and like that's done and over with. But I'm sure more is on the way. I mean, like I said, it's all capitalism, right?
Yeah.
They're not,
What would you?
they're not going to stop making money. I mean, for fuck's sake, we're at Fast and the Furious 10 now.
What would you rate it out of 5 stars for Guardians of the Galaxy?
It's so I'll start
or compare them to the other 2.
Sure. So I'll do both. On a 5-star scale, I never give a 5, right? Because I don't believe in something
the perfect movie.
Right. There's always room for improvement in some way, right? And I believe that with movies and with ourselves, right? Like you're always got to look at yourself in ways to grow. But I would give it a very high score. It's at least 4. I mean, it was tremendous. Wow. But I would probably give very similar ratings to the other 2. So to compare it to the other 2 movies, it might be my favorite because of how much it dug into like Rocket's backstory and how much it changes your mindset for his character in general. Because now you know why he's the way he is.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, outstanding. Although I will say, and if this truly is the end of it, it does leave a lot to be desired at the end. Like there certainly isn't the fairy tale ending, that's for sure.
Sometimes that's for the best, right?
Yeah.
Just like this has to come to an end. The best things do, right, David? Dave Ryan, December 17th, 73. Catch us Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, for the weekly show on Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube. Dave and I will be there. As always, Dave, thanks for your time. See everybody later. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ryan.
Gladiator and Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's on the list.
Yeah. That Gladiator I might have to watch again. It's been a while.
Dude. It's phenomenal acting. They won. He won Academy Award for that and director.
The director did?
Yeah. Ridley Scott won Best Picture and Russell Crowe won Best Actor that year.
Oh.
Back when Oscars didn't need inclusion to win something.
Not enough Black Roman.
No.
Thanks, everyone.
Later, Dave.